All right, welcome back to another day, another news cycle. Up first, we got a little bit of Epstein news. Names of every passenger to have flown on Jeffrey Epstein's aircraft be revealed. The Attorney General in the U.S. Virgin Islands has subpoenaed his flight logs. Spanning from 1998 until his death last year, the logs show his passengers, many famous people. The logs on his 4 helicopters and 3 planes span from 1998 until his suicide in prison last year. Attorney General Denise George has filed a lawsuit against his estate alleging 22 counts of a bunch of stuff. Just a bunch of stuff I can't really say on YouTube because YouTube. Miss George is also requesting to see any complaints or reports of potentially suspicious conduct as well as personal notes made by the pilots. The subpoena demands the names and details of anyone who worked for the pilots, interacted with Epstein, and passengers who traveled with him. Pilot David Rogers has previously revealed logs from 2009, which showed Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, and Naomi Campbell were among those who flew on his jet. It is not suggested they were aware of any wrongdoing by Epstein. Well, Kevin Spacey already, we know, had wrongdoing. Well, yeah, and Bill Clinton. To be honest, Bill Clinton, too. A source said the records that have been subpoenaed will make the ones Rogers provided look like a post-it note. There is a panic among many of the rich and famous. Lawyers for the victims said the logs released in 2009 did not include the flights of chief pilot Larry Vizocki, who had flown Epstein for more than 25 years. It comes as a celebrity chef has been quizzed by detectives 20 years after he worked for Epstein, prompting renewed calls for Prince Andrew to speak to the FBI. So yeah, you got Prince Andrew, you got a bunch of people. We've also got from Post Millennial on it. I believe there was a little bit extra. No? Oh, okay. Now that's all of it. There was a little bit extra in this one, but no. Daily Mail pretty much covers it and a tiny bit more. Bunch of the stuff from the other people that were being accused, I guess, of being, the P word. But yeah. So we're going to have way more names coming out from Epstein. I'm sure Ghislaine Maxwell has probably sang like a canary. I wouldn't be surprised. She's probably going to sing even more. If she hasn't. I don't know. But yeah, they're calling for more of these. So maybe they're trying to get some evidence from Ghislaine and then match them up with these logbooks. All right, that is it for the Epstein news. We'll now move into the Supreme Court stuff. Trump says Supreme Court list is down to 5 people. Announcement coming Friday or Saturday. So there's a few people. We got Amy Coney Barrett, Barbara Lagoa. Let me see. I gotta remember where the names were at. We'll just read it. President Trump on Monday said he has narrowed his list of potential Supreme Court nominees to fill the seat held by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg to 5 people and vowed to announce his pick by Friday or Saturday. During an exclusive interview on Fox and Friends, the president said the final Senate vote for his potential nominee should be taken before the election and should go very quickly. Yeah, we know Ginsburg died. The bottom line is we won the election. We have an obligation to do what's right and act as quickly as possible, Trump said. I will point out there have been 29 elections that have, around election time, that have the president trying to appoint a Supreme Court. 10 of those have been while the Senate and the president both are of the same party. 9 in which actually passed. 1 didn't. So there's just a little bit of information. I think it will be on Friday or Saturday, and we want to pay respect. It looks like we will have services on Thursday or Friday, as I understand it. And I think we should, with all due respect for Justice Ginsburg, wait for services to be over, the president said. Hey, that's respectful. Wait until the services are over at the very least, but then, hey, we got to carry on with the country. We can mourn as a country, we can respect her, but we still need to move on. We still have to push forward. We can't just stop the country just because someone died. I don't think that's what she would have really wanted, is to just completely stop the country. So that's why it's been feeling very skeptical on her dying wish, which is, it doesn't hold up. You can't do that. One, it's unconstitutional. Up next, we got Pelosi on using impeachment to stop SCOTUS nomination. We have arrows in our quiver. You know, they want to try to do impeachment if you know Trump actually loses the election. He's going to try to appoint someone during the lame duck session, or he'll try to do it, you know, during that period if he wins. But we also know that he's going to be trying to push forward a little bit more, you know, faster. He wants to get this done before the election. We all know that. So if it goes into that, you know, where there's a lame duck session, and then we know impeachment will try to come and try to get him out as soon as possible. So we got Trump says out of respect he'll wait until after Ruth Bader Ginsburg's funeral sets to nominate her SCOTUS replacement, and is looking at 5 names, probably 4, very seriously. We got, you know, Hillary Clinton came out of her little hidey hole to say, you know, a couple of words. Hillary Clinton, Trump, GOP's lust for power is destroying our institutions. I mean, is anyone really listening to Hillary Clinton anymore? Does she even matter? Does she have any real power besides, you know, the money she stole? Because there should be way more. There should just be investigations all the time into her, because she's a sketchy lady. Sketchy lady. We also got Lindsey Graham says he backs Trump in any effort to move forward on RBG vacancy. Senator Lindsey Graham said that he is supporting President Donald Trump in any effort to move forward concerning the vacancy left by the late Supreme Court, blah, blah. As chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Graham will preside over confirmation hearings for the president's choice to fill Ginsburg's seat. So, you know, Lindsey Graham's on board. Nadler urges Democrats to expand the Supreme Court if GOP fills Ginsburg's seat before inauguration. So, you know, we got people just left and right. Just they're saying, you know, what their viewpoints are. Everyone's coming out. Even Michael Moore came out of his little hidey hole as well. Michael Moore calls on Americans to get out in the streets over SCOTUS pick and be ruthless. So that kind of sounds like a bit of a call to violence. Michael Moore, you might want to watch your words. That's all I got to say. But who's really listening to you anymore? Because I think we all know that you're pretty much a hack fraud. Female judges come into spotlight as Trump says he's narrowing his SCOTUS list. So we got a picture here of all 4 of them. The top contenders appear to be 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals Judge Amy Coney Barrett, 11th Circuit Judge Barbara Lagoa, 4th Circuit Judge Allison Jones Rushing, and 6th Circuit Judge Joan Larson. Trump said on Fox and Friends Monday morning that he will likely make his pick to succeed Ginsburg by the end of the week. You know, we already know it's going to be on Friday or Saturday. So up first, we got Amy Coney Barrett. Barrett is the highest profile individual of the 4 contenders whose names are known. She is former Notre Dame law professor who many believe would overrule Roe v. Wade if given the chance, making her a favorite of religious conservatives and causing Democrats to staunchly oppose her. That's kind of why the Democrats are up in arms about Roe v. Wade. I guess, I mean, we don't know that'll actually happen, but I mean, hey, anything's possible, so I can't rule it out. She is a devout Catholic, which concerned some Democrats during her previous nomination hearing. The dogma lives loudly within you, and that's of concern. Senate Judiciary Committee ranking member Dianne Feinstein, D. California, told Barrett in 2017. She was eventually confirmed 55-43. Barrett, a former clerk for the late Justice Antonin Scalia, is 48 years old. Today's vote to confirm Amy Coney Barrett as a United States Circuit Judge for the 7th Court is a victory for religious freedom, says Ted Cruz. You know, just some praise on her in 2017. Next up, we got Allison Jones Rushing. On the younger end of the spectrum is Rushing, a 38-year-old judge on the 4th Circuit. Despite her age, Rushing's conservative bona fides are seen as quite strong. She held 3 clerkships with 3 conservative judicial luminaries. Judge David Sentel on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, a Reagan appointee who is now the presiding judge of the U.S. Foreign Intelligence Surveillance FISA Court, then Judge Neil Gorsuch on the 10th Circuit, who was later appointed by Trump to the Supreme Court, and Justice Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court. She graduated from Wake Forest University and then went on to Duke University School of Law. Rushing's political past includes time as a volunteer legal advisor for Mitt Romney's 2012 presidential campaign. In private practice, Rushing spent a lot of time on Supreme Court litigation, filing approximately 47 briefs with the tribunal, according to the Judiciary Committee questionnaire from her 2017 confirmation. Democrats at the time slammed Rushing with Vanita Gupta, the president and CEO of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, saying that she has denounced marriage equality, opposed remedies for discriminatory lending practices, and rejected efforts to end housing discrimination against domestic and sexual violence survivors. Quote. We got Joan Larson here. Larson previously served on the Michigan Supreme Court and was a University of Michigan faculty member before being appointed to the Circuit Court. She also clerked for Santel and Scalia and worked for the law firm Sidley Austin. She graduated at the top in her class at Northwestern University School of Law and has recently been a regular contributor to discussions for the Federalist Society, an association of conservative and libertarian lawyers. Larson's confirmation hearing was held jointly with Barrett's, meaning she was largely overshadowed, but her nomination was still divisive. Justice Larson is and will be a jurist who seeks to find the right answer, never simply one she prefers as a matter of policy. Then Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, Republican from Iowa, said, "Colleagues on the court have praised her sharp legal analysis, her clear and crisp writing, and her work ethic. But Gupta said Larson has an extreme ideology and panned her work as a member of the Justice Department under President George W. Bush." Barbara Lagoa. Lagoa is 52 years old and previously served on the Florida Supreme Court. She is a Cuban-American and garnered significant bipartisan support in the Senate when she was confirmed in an 80-15 vote in November 2019. High-profile Democrats voting yeah on her nomination included Senator Dianne Feinstein, the ranking member of the Judiciary Committee, Senator Chris Coons, also on the Judiciary Committee, and Senator Joe Manchin, a perpetual swing vote on judicial nominations. Those are all Democrats, by the way. Prior to becoming a judge, Lagoa served as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida and practiced civil litigation for the law firm Greenberg Traurig. Sure. Democratic pollster Fernand Amandi told Politico that if Trump chooses Lagoa, it would be a play for women, Hispanics, and most importantly, Florida's 29 electoral votes, calling her the conservative Cuban version of Sonoa Sotomayor. Whoever is selected by Trump, no matter how many Democrats voted for her previously, is sure to be at the center of a major political battle. The American people should have a voice in the selection of their next Supreme Court justice. Therefore, this vacancy should not be filled until we have a new president. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat from New York, said in a Friday tweet telegraphing that Democrats would oppose anyone nominated by President Trump before the election or while he is a lame duck. Republicans have sworn to give any Trump nominee a floor vote. Some Democrats have even threatened to pack the Supreme Court and get rid of the legislative filibuster, threats they have been making for months in response to a Trump Supreme Court nominee being confirmed. So yeah, that's pretty much what they want to do. I mean, Democrats are going to go out of their way to make sure Trump doesn't get another Supreme Court, no matter who it is. Any one of these women are probably worthy of succeeding Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and hey, Democrats don't want that. I'll say that, but we need one now because we can't have you can't have a 4-4. You can't have an even number of Supreme Court judges. It's just going to create more havoc for this election when it's already in chaos. All right, so we'll move on to protesting news now. We had talked earlier, I came out with an opinion piece on the Nebraska bar owner who was indicted in the fatal shooting of a black supporter, and yeah, he killed himself. It's really sad. I kind of covered most of the details in it, the scuffle and everything that happened kind of leading up to the shooting. And I mean, it said here it's clear-cut self-defense, and it was ruled as self-defense until a couple of people and I guess community members, which is just more, it's a mob rule and morality police that decided to pursue it further and kind of just caused this person too much pressure and stress. And he's gone now. That's all I gotta say is he's gone. And Megan Hunt here is the one to... She's probably going to have some investigations on her very soon. Trashy Nebraska Senator Megan Hunt admits Jake Garner persecution was mob rule, continues to smear him after his suicide. I mean, she was willing to come out and basically say, hey, yeah, this is mob rule. This is politically motivated mob rule, and she doesn't care. She's calling him a white supremacist, and she's glad it happened. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And Megan Hunt, I don't have anything to say for you here in this video, but in the opinion one, I had plenty to say. Let's just say that. Yeah, that's, from the Omaha World Herald. This has most of the details concerning it all. This is probably the article you're going to find the most information about it on. And then you got, stuff on Megan Hunt. We've also got 11 arrested at a violent Antifa protest outside Portland ICE facility. They've been protesting the ICE facility with the hysterectomies. They should also be going after the private company that, kind of owns the detention center. But, they don't care about that stuff. They just, want to burn it all down. Antifa activists resumed rioting in Portland on Friday night after a brief hiatus due to the wildfires ravaging the West Coast. 11 arrests were made by Portland police. It's been a hot second, PDX, so y'all better show the F up. The Pacific Northwest Youth Liberation Front posted in a since-deleted tweet to mobilize the Antifa mob. Meet 7 p.m., move 8 p.m., be water, spread fire, melt ice. I don't know if spread fire is a good term to use, considering the wildfires, and you already got rumors spreading about you guys doing that kind of thing, even though we don't technically have the evidence, but a lot of speculation right now. I'm not going to say they did it or not until we actually have good enough evidence, but speculation will be speculation, especially when protests stop, wildfires stop, protests start. It's like, okay, well, I guess you could. There is correlation to be like, all right, well, these wildfires started, maybe we should just stop rampaging, or, we probably got to move anyways because our houses are burning down. Who knows? I'm sure there's been plenty of people who have been arrested for arson over these wildfires. We got Watch from Breitbart. Philadelphia rioters attack car with a dog inside. So yeah, they don't know what they're doing anymore because they started attacking a car that was on their side. This guy came to the riot with his dog in the back, and he started, being in with the riots, and then they thought his car was someone else's or something, and they just started beating on it. You can hear the dog just being terrified. The guy ends up getting to his car and driving away. I'm sure he's not going to be joining in any of these protest riots anymore, especially since his dog's life was at risk. Up next, we got Portland protests will continue for years unless changes are made. NAACP president warns. That sounds like another threat. NAACP president Reverend E.D. Mundane told KATU that he was not surprised to see the return of the protests, and he warned they could continue for years unless extraordinarily unapologetic and deliberate actions are taken to begin to root out systemic racism. You know what I see, man? I see this as a threat. But, hey, if you want to try to do it, go for it. People are eventually going to rise up and try to stop you, because freedom is a cost, and it's a high cost, and eventually people are going to be willing to pay it. So you guys seem willing to want to destroy it. People are going to be willing to defend it. That's just what happens. We've got dozens gather outside Senator Lindsey Graham's house to protest Supreme Court hypocrisy because, because he's joining in with Trump, so now they protested outside of his house. Justice Department says 3 cities could lose federal aid for permitting anarchy, violence, and destruction, which is huge news, which means they could stop getting federal funding. I mean, if they're going to defund the police, allow riots and destruction to happen anyways, then why should the federal government be supporting it? We got the Justice Department said Monday it has identified 3 U.S. cities that have permitted violence and destruction of property and are now at risk of losing federal dollars as part of President Trump's effort to crack down on unrest fueled by incidents of police violence against black men and calls to defund police departments. I mean, yeah, we got it right here. We got it from the Department of Justice. Identifies New York City, Portland, and Seattle as jurisdictions permitting violence and destruction of property. I mean, it's literally all that's been happening during the riots are just called out on here. So that's why New York, Portland, and Seattle are just... They're the ones being named prominently because that's exactly what's happening within those cities. I mean, the cities are turning into a nightmare zone. So something needs to be done. So if you want to read this, I suggest everybody go out, read this. Tim Pool covered it. He read through all of it. So if you just want to go see his video, go for it. But otherwise, just go to the justice.gov website. You can find it pretty easily. Then we got de Blasio and Cuomo fume as DOJ puts anarchist New York City funds on chopping block. Well, you know what? Who cares what Cuomo and de Blasio have to say? Because New Yorkers don't seem to. Massive F. Cuomo and de Blasio mural painted on Brooklyn Street. So we can see down here. For nearly 24 hours this weekend, in all caps, block-long message painted in yellow on a Brooklyn street contained the rage of New York City. F. Cuomo and de Blasio. I mean, they were killing, nursing home residents. They were actively killing off people. Like, this is the least that should happen to Cuomo and de Blasio. But yeah, within 24 hours, they had it scrubbed and they had black paint just cover the whole thing. They'll allow their Black Lives Matter mirror to, stay up, whatever, because, that fits whatever narrative they want. But if the people want to express whatever they want, then they're not allowed to. Cuomo and de Blasio have made that very clear, New York. Well, that's it for the protesting news. Up next, we'll go into Miscellaneous. A woman suspected of sending poison letter to Trump arrested. Yeah, a woman suspected of sending letter containing poison ricin to President Donald Trump was arrested as she tried to enter the U.S. from Canada at a border crossing in New York State, a U.S. law enforcement official said. I believe she was from Quebec. So yeah, she attempted to send a poisonous letter to President Trump. That's this is the suspect at least, so we'll see if she actually did it. We'll probably know a little bit more tomorrow on this. Authorities are investigating additional similar packages mailed to addresses in Texas that may be connected to the same sender in Canada. CNN previously reported according to a U.S. law enforcement official. So, ricin is a highly toxic compound extracted from castor beans that has been used in terror plots. It can be used in powder, pellet, mist, or acid form. If ingested, it causes nausea, vomiting, and internal bleeding of the stomach and intestines, followed by failure of the liver, spleen, and kidneys, and death by collapse of the circulatory system. So yeah, not good. Not good. Biden Democrats have 466 million cash on hand, over 100 million more than Trump. Well, yeah, they're going to be 100 million more considering people just donated probably about 100 million to them over the last weekend over Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death. Which seems sketchy. I don't know why people would just straight up donate over someone's death, but hey, whatever, do you. It's not something I kind of do. It's kind of weird to me. I'd say mourn, respect her, move on, but that's me. I guess donate to just politicians. Whatever you want to do then. We got Joe Biden makes another gaffe by saying 200 million Americans, or 2/3 of the U.S. population, have died of COVID-19 instead of almost 200,000. So yeah, Joe Biden making another gaffe. He had said 200 million. It's not the first time. He had said 120 million when it was at 120,000. So apparently he doesn't understand the difference between 1,000 and million. And this is the person that you guys want to have elected as president who doesn't understand 200 million or 200,000. He could cause some serious panic if he makes a mistake like that while he's president. Cause quite a panic, saying 200 million are dead. Be like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. That'll cause a panic, sir. You need to be careful, though, careful there, Joe Biden. Now we got Pelosi messing up. Pelosi confuses some during interview on SCOTUS fight. That's a weird title for this article. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi left some viewers scratching their heads after what seemed like a brief communication issue during a Sunday morning news show. So yeah, she was talking on it, and then all of a sudden she was asked a question, and then she just stopped and said, "Good morning, Sunday morning," and then began speaking again of what was said. It was really weird. Really, really weird. If you can find that clip, I'd suggest viewing it, because it's weird. You know, almost like she had like almost a stroke. I don't want to say anything, you know, for sure. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not a medical doctor here, but it was a little weird. It was a little weird. All I gotta say. Up next, we got QAnon linked to at least 44 election candidates in 2020, and some could win. I mean, yeah, their way of connecting it is like someone could have viewed QAnon and then they support this politician, and that's how they're connecting it. Some random person, more. That's pretty much it. So, news just trying to cashed out on QAnon, but I'm not going to say anything on that. That's left's going to talk about what they want. QAnon's going to do what it's going to do. It's what it is. Up to 52 million new immigrants could settle in the U.S. under the Biden-Harris plan, analysis finds. So yeah, Biden and Harris want to bring in a whole bunch of people. It's like we can't support ourselves already. Why would you bring in 1/7 of our already population? Why would you add more people? That's going to increase tax paying to the people that are already here. Benefits are just people are just gonna be taking more benefits. It's gonna be mayhem. Why would you do that? We need to slow this, especially during coronavirus. You're gonna be saying this during coronavirus. Oh yeah, let's just start adding more people in here. Let's just start infecting more people. Okay, Joe Biden and Harris. Okay, even though you're trying to call out Trump for his stuff, even though he tried to probably do the best he could, even though he had opposition from Democrats left and right saying, hey, it was okay. Coronavirus is nothing. Go China. Up next, we got the CDC updates its guidance to warn coronavirus is airborne and can spread through breathing with infected particles lingering in the air. So, yeah, it came out. Also, apparently fake. CDC says it's mistakenly published guidance about COVID-19 spreading through the air. They said it was a draft, and it's not true, because they said it did it to begin with, and then they reversed and said, no, that can't happen. And then they come out again saying, oh, yeah, no, it can happen. Oh, but it's actually a mistake. Well, the story already came out. People are going to believe that. People aren't going to see that, oh, this was just a draft. That was a mistake. It's actually not the guidance. People are going to call for this instead. People are going to comment on this, and they're going to mimic and mirror what this says. Not what you actually said, and it being a mistake. So CDC, you messed up bad. You messed up real bad. All right, that's pretty much the daily news from what I got. This is Daily News Coverage with New Truth News, signing out. Have a good one.